Hello and welcome back to Engaging Conversations. I'm your host, Leon Goldsman, and in today's episode, we're tackling something that doesn't get talked about enough. Behind the silence, behind the pressure to stay strong, are men quietly dealing with trauma loss, isolation, and stigma. Joining me is Dave Martin, Director at Survivors Are Us, also known as SRU Community Hub. He is the founder of Sons of the Phoenix, a powerful support initiative helping men rise from their lowest points by creating safe, judgmental-free spaces to connect and heal. Today we openly talk about why men need each other, the healing power of brotherhood, and what it really means to rise from the ashes. This episode is proudly supported by Nias Kenneth from Invest Intelligence, a leader in ethical investment who believes in building and strengthening communities. We're deeply grateful for his support in helping bring these important issues and conversations to life. So now, without further ado, let's get into it.
G'day, my name's Dave Martin. I'm a director here at Survivors Are Us, and I'm also a male facilitator for the men's groups here and a mentor as well. And through the years, I've found that there was no support and help for men. And I've had a lot of trauma over the years through different things, and I thought there was need for men to get help out there in a positive way.
You've been deeply involved in community support through Sons of the Phoenix. What inspired you to start this men's health group?
I found there was no real help for men out there. There is some groups, but I had a look at my experiences through life, and I thought there's a better way at helping these men get through it. As a group of men, normally you go down the pub and have a chat, but we have a chat here at Sons of the Phoenix, and we build a male bonding like mates at the pub.
And not everybody goes to the pub anyway.
No, they don't. And some blokes, they just need that initial, someone to a friendly face and a chat, and the main thing is someone to listen to them.
And you know, Dave, the name Sons of the Phoenix does carry some significant meaning. Can you explain the symbolism behind the name?
Yeah, I thought about it, and I thought as men, we've all get knocked down, trodden on, and we basically, like the phoenix, we've been beaten and we just burn out. And I thought the phoenix is a classic bird. It rebirths after it's burnt, and like that, we're reburning from the ashes and we're rising back out of the ashes and being reborn. That's why I chose the name.
And you know, sometimes not everybody realises they've got that ability.
Yeah, I found that when we sit around and have a chat, we spoke about the phoenix and the name behind it, and everyone can relate to a phoenix in some way or another. Some have been in phoenix sporting groups, they've read books on the phoenix, all different stuff, and that really is drawing them in.
I think what's drawing people in, as being a patron of Survivors Are Us, one of the things that I've noticed is the safe place that's available for people, and especially for men. How do you ensure that Sons of the Phoenix remains a non-judgmental environment?
We sit down, when they come to the Sons, first of all, they're screened downstairs with our support team, and they go, listen, we think you need to come to this group and have a chat. It's a safe, secure environment. We hold no judgment. All the boys or the men that come, they're all looking for somewhere just to sit down and have a chat, feel safe and secure. And we've got help for them if we happen to touch a subject that may be not so nice for them. And we have counsellors and support people here ready for them if something sets them off. Basically, people feel safe and comfortable here. So basically what happens, the fellas that come here, they know they can speak freely, and what they speak about stays in the room and doesn't go any further than that.
And that's really, really important, because if people feel comfortable, they can get it out of their system. And you've witnessed positive changes in participants, no doubt. Can you share a success story that stands out for you?
Yeah, we have a young fella that comes here. I call him young, he's 50-ish.
That's pretty young.
But I call him a young fella, he's younger than me. He come here, he was broken, he was homeless, living on the street, and he come to the Phoenix, and we had our first meeting, and he met up with another gentleman in the group, and they buddied up like two mates, didn't even know each other, and they've been helping each other out, and they're helping each other out by one's, the young fella, he knows where all the food places are, all the buses and that, and the other bloke didn't know all this, so they're now they're sharing a house at the moment, and they're both looking after each other, and if one of them mucks up, the other one goes, hey, pull your head in, you're getting out of line here, and that's, I think, they're a role model for the rest of our group that come in.
Well, they're obviously holding each other to account,
yes.
But that's so important to have a buddy to watch. Because I think a lot of the people feel so desolate.
Yeah, I think desolate. Yeah, I find that a lot of them just don't have mates. They don't have anywhere to go. They've got nothing to do, and they just sit at home alone and just think about not positive thoughts.
And some people do have mates, but they feel shame that they can't actually go out there and talk to them. And that's sad, but that's the reality. This is what happens. I feel that you're providing collaboration, and we know that enhances community outreach. So how does your group collaborate with the SIU Community Hub, which is Survivors Are Us now, that's expanded, it's grown? And how does that collaborate with the organisation and perhaps other organisations as well?
Well, at the moment, the boys come to the Sons of the Phoenix. We're looking at a 10-week program, and if they need to stay longer, they stay longer. And we'll move on from there to what we call Ken's Corner, which is then a group of men that come in on a Thursday morning, have a coffee and a bit of cake, and just laugh and chat and joke about what's going on in the world. And then we're moving on from there. We're going to start what we call the Woodchucks group, is for the men to come and make toys and timber products. And then they'll go on and hopefully can sell those products at Christmas for kids, for Christmas presents, or we'll just donate them. We find that's very great for the blokes, that hands-on, and it's just relaxing. They can sit out there. They can, if they want to sit and chat, they can chat. If they want to make a project, they just come up and go, Dave, we want to make a project. I organise all the gear, and we go ahead and we make the project and, stamp the Phoenix on it, and
Well, see, a lot of people don't realise that mental health is perhaps, it doesn't matter what happens in life. It tends to lead people down the same path of a spiral of desperation when people feel alone. So you're clearly addressing the mental health stigma amongst men is a barrier. Now, what strategies do you use to encourage men to seek help?
First thing is speak out, speak to someone. If you're not feeling right, actually go and seek help. I found for a long time I was carrying it and I didn't speak out, and I just the typical bloke, just harden up, princess, and get on with it. And then one day I just had a breakdown and I come to Survivors, because it's the only safe spot I knew, and started progressing from there and get help. Speak out, speak to someone at least.
Well, you're touching on your personal experiences and how that's shaped your approach. How has your own life experiences influenced the way you lead the group?
Well, my life experiences, when I was younger, I was coerced in a relationship and I didn't realise, and it took me a lot till one day I just said, I'm not putting up with this anymore, and walked away. In my previous life, I lost 3 children, a set of twins, one at 19 weeks, one at 20 weeks, and I lost a daughter after she was alive for 14 weeks from massive heart failure. And I found back then there was no support for the men. And we went to a counsellor this day and she said, I know how you feel. And the young girl was 20 years of age and she had no life. When I asked, have you been through this? The young girl said, no, I read it in a book. And I thought, that's not the right way to help people. You need someone that's got that life experience behind them. And I always say, I don't know what you're thinking or how you feel, but I have been down a similar path. And so I'm just happy to sit here and listen and just work with you. Yeah, see, I found then I ended up with depression, and I was just one angry, cranky man all the time. And eventually it caused my marriage. I lost, I just couldn't put up. I couldn't deal with it anymore. So I moved on, and then I ended up spiralling down to nearly thinking about taking my own life. I'm driving along the road and just looking at a semi-parked on the road, side of the road, and I thought, if I hit it at 180 kilometres an hour, I'm going to make sure I'm not here. And then I got to work and I mulled on it all day, and I ended up ringing up one of my mates that's a really good mate, and he said, "Dave, what's wrong?" And I told him. He said, "I'll be there in half hour, hang on." And yeah, I spoke to him for hours and sort of cleared me head. And it is a brotherhood, yes. We've all been down, knocked down, rose again, and that's why we're using the Phoenix, because we're rising from our ashes. I found it's like a tight-knit group. Once you put down your guard, your wall that you put up, there's blokes there to listen to you. They understand. They've all been down that same road.
Definitely reach out.
I would suggest they reach out, contact someone, anyone, and start the conversation, seek help, or give us a call.
One of the things that we talk about a lot with most every single person on our programs is the satisfaction of doing good for other people, the act of giving. You are an inspiration, Dave, and I just wanted to ask you whether you feel that doing good for other people has had anything to do with that.
Yeah, I found for many years I just wasn't happy with my job, and like my partner, she said to me the other week, she can see the changes in me. Just here, I'm happier now. I'm not so cranky. I'm got time for people, and I really, really enjoy this job now, my role here. I feel like I'm giving back something to the community, yeah.
Well, you certainly are doing a lot for the community, but you're doing a lot for yourself as a result. And just sitting here, I could feel that.
I'm a lot more relaxed. I'm not like the Energizer Bunny jumping up and down, and I'm just relaxed now.
Well, there must be a vision for the future of the group. Dave, what are your plans for expanding or evolving Sons of the Phoenix?
I'd like to take it nationwide one day. That is my vision, to try and get out there and help as many blokes as I can. And I've got a bush background. I'd like to take it to the bush to help the men out there that struggle.
What a vision. What a vision. And you know what? They certainly could benefit from this.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to chat to you offline on this one as well, because some of the people I've spoken to in different regions of Australia, and one of those programs that they could certainly gain value.
Yeah, I'm not sure how we're going to do it yet, but I've been out west and we've done other drought reliefs and all that, and I spent hours with the farmers out there, and some of them are just looking for a bloke to sit down and have a chat that they don't really know, but open up, and they're not afraid to open up to a stranger. If they try and open up to family, they feel like they've failed.
Well, it kind of reminds me of what Viktor Frankl once said. If you know why you do something, then all the other stuff isn't important, it'll happen. You know, if you know why you're doing what you're doing, and in your case, you're doing it because you want to help other people.
Yeah, I'd like to help people, because I sometimes wonder how I would have went if I'd got help years ago. Would have my life been different?
Yeah. Well, who knows what could have happened, but we're here today.
Yes.
And we are making the world a better place. Well, you are. You're making the world a better place.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that, because some days I look at it and go, is it helping or not? And then when I see my blokes in Sons of the Phoenix and how they come in broken and destroyed, when they leave here, they've at least got a smile on their face, and they always say, I can't wait to see you next week, and make sure you're here. And yeah.
Good on you, Dave. And that's very, very inspiring. I mean, your work has broader implications for men's health and beyond. But what messages would you like to convey to men who are hesitant to seek support?
Do it. Go and get help. Go and speak to people. Give a mate a phone call, or give us a phone call here and come and visit us.
So Dave, if people wanted to learn more about what you do or get involved, how would they find you?
Look us up on the web on survivorsarusincorporated.com, and all the information's there, what we do here, all our different support groups we have. And if you have a look, it'll have all that information. And please follow us on Facebook as well. They've got some great photos and what's going on and what happens here every day.
And I'll certainly be putting some more information on our show notes for anyone else who wants to find out more. But Dave, look, you've been fantastic. And I just wanted to say thank you for all the great work that you do. Sometimes in life we go through these challenges. We don't know why they happen to us, but they do. And if we can bear up under the pressures that we go through, the pleasures become much greater than the pain.
Yeah, I agree with that, Leon. Yeah. For anyone that is interested in the Sons of the Phoenix or volunteering, you could give us a call and our support team on 02 4953 7108, and we'd love to have you come and join the team.
And that's a very valid contribution.
That is correct.
4953 7108. Of course, there's the website, or just pick up the phone. Again, I'll have all that in the show notes. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. And I'll be keeping my eyes out for the great work that you're doing.
And thanks, Leon, for having us on your program. That's great to get out there. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Pleasure. That was Dave Martin, speaking from the heart about the struggles many men face and the hope that's possible when they're given the space to be seen, heard, and supported. If today's conversation struck a chord, don't keep it to yourself. Reach out. Whether it's to a mate, a support group like Sons of the Phoenix, or even a quiet moment of honesty with someone you trust, taking that first step is often the bravest. So to learn more, visit Survivors Are Us online or follow their work on social media. A special thank you once again to our sponsor, Nias Kamath from Invest Intelligence, whose commitment to ethical investment is grounded in strengthening communities and creating lasting impact. Your support helps bring stories like these into the spotlight. Thanks for listening to Engaging Conversations, and thank you to the audience and all those who are making it possible to empower voices and strengthen our communities one conversation at a time. I'm Leon Goldsman, and until next time, stay kind, stay open, and let's keep building stronger communities together.